Hi friends, this is Suzy, your Candy Crush guru, and I'm going to teach you, if you play on a computer and you've reached at least level 2000, how to get virtually unlimited boosters, and really fun ones too. And the way to do that is to fool the computer into thinking that you've never played level 2000 before. Because when we play level 2000 and we beat it, we get an award of 10 different fantastic boosters. It's consistent, it's much more efficient, and less time consuming than collecting sugar drops. So we have to fool the computer. I'm in Google Chrome right now, and in Google Chrome there are two different ways to do that, but let me give you some warnings. The first way is to clear my history. If I do that, however, I may end up with no lives left from my friends that sent them. Don't worry, I'm going to teach you ways to get around these problems. And I could also take out, let's say, my banking passwords, because it's going to clear my browser cache and history, and so some of those things that I use repeatedly that just kind of populate for me, those won't be available anymore. So a couple of things to watch for. Oh, and also my treat calendar goes away, but there's an advantage to that as well. So another way I could do this is to open an incognito window. Now for me, for some reason, it doesn't work the same way it does work for Daryl, who's an absolutely amazing guy who told me about going incognito. Previously, I've had trouble going incognito. Facebook thinks that somebody's trying to hijack my account, and it has tried to stop me from going into Facebook, and I've had to prove that I am who I am by answering the security questions. It hasn't done that to me today, and I've experimented all day. So thankfully, that's not the problem anymore. But what he does is he goes incognito, goes down to level 2000, plays, it gives him the reward, he closes this window. He can't just go back into level 2000 with this window. He closes this window, but then he just goes back up here, opens a new incognito window, plays level 2000 and gets the award again. For some reason it doesn't work for me in Chrome. Don't know why. Maybe it's something to do with the settings, and I may explore those later. But that's okay because I have a place where it does work. So you can clear the cache and history, but there are some problems with that, or you can go incognito, and if it works for you, then it works for you, and there's no problem. It may show that you don't have any lives when you go incognito, but that's because it's not showing your browser cache and history. It's allowing you to go into different sites without collecting cookies, basically. But when you go back to your normal game, it should show up when you go in a regular browser without going incognito. So that's one way. Another way is if you play in Facebook Game Room. Now we know this is really a clunky way to do it, but if you really like Facebook Game Room, it's faster than the others, and you really want to play in there, and you want to get the 2000 award, what you would have to do after each win is uninstall and then reinstall Facebook Game Room to get that same reward. I know that's really clunky. And now I'm going to pause the recording so I can bring up Mozilla Firefox, and that's where I usually do all of my level 2000 exploit. Be right back. So here's Mozilla Firefox. Again, I've been experimenting in here. Here's my level 2000. If I want to clear my cache and history, I go to this little library. I open it up and it'll allow me to clear my cache. I'm not showing you specifically because I don't want to expose all of my private information to the general public. If you question at all how to do this, you can go to Google and put in whatever your browser name is. Let's say you use MS Edge. Put in MS Edge Clear Cache History, or MS Edge Private Browser. It'll tell you that for Edge, the private browser is called In Private. For Mozilla Firefox, it's New Private Window. And here's another way. There's the library here, so I can go to here and clear out my cache that way. But I'm going to go to my New Private Window, and I'm going to pause the recording and enter Facebook, because I don't want you to see all my passwords. Be right back. Okay, so here I am, and I'm loading this up, and when I do this, it will often reload the treat calendar for me as well. I'm a little askew here. And so it brings me back to day one. Well, a lot of people are kind of stuck on day one anyway. If you're expecting day 7 and you do this, remember that if you clear your cache and history, it's cleared and you can't do anything to revive it. But if you're just going incognito, it shouldn't have any effect on how you play this when you go back to your regular browser. Here's another thing that some people do. If incognito or in private or private doesn't work for you for some reason, what you can do is you can, see there's my treat calendar and I'm getting this reward again. But what you can do is you can decide where you want to normally do all of your business and where you want to do this exploit. So let's say that I use Google Chrome for all of my banking. That's where all of my passwords are. That's where all of my friends send my lives. It's where I play my Facebook games. Okay? So then what I can do is I can go to a different browser like Firefox, and I can clear my browser cache and history just there. It won't affect my other browsers, so I shouldn't have any problem with it. And I'll still get the benefit of being able to do this exploit. So if for some reason an incognito browser doesn't work for you and you're afraid of losing your passwords, just don't use the same browser that you would use where all of your passwords are stored. So you can keep things separate that way. So I've got Daryl, who has taught me about incognito, and it works for him very well. And then I investigated the private browser here, and it's worked quite well for me. And then I have a friend, Lisa. She clears her cache and history on Google Chrome, but instead of just opening one tab, what she does is she then opens duplicate tabs, and she does it 10 times. And when she does that, she then plays level 2000 on each of those. So for every time she clears her cache and history, she plays and exploits the system 10 times. And you know, that exploit, that's just a glitch that we use in our favor. It's not a bad word in this setting. So now some people think that when I'm browsing in an incognito browser, everything I do is absolutely private and nothing can be tracked. Never do anything you don't want to get caught doing. Just, you know, use your discretion. Never think that you're untouchable because you're in an incognito browser. You're not. Just live a respectable life and you won't have any problem. If there's nothing wrong with what you're doing, then it's okay if people see it. So that's my advice to you. So these are the different ways that you can use this exploit. See, look, I've already beaten this. I've got 34 lives, or 34 moves left over that I don't even need. So it's so much quicker. And like I said, with the sugar drops, not only does it take so much longer, but the problem is we never know what we're going to get. Here we always get the same amazing things. We always get, after it says level 2000, we always get all of these plus that party popper. And it's consistent. And we can collect our ships as well. Now let's go to here. This is a sugar drop level, and it looks like here, let's go to a super hard level. I want to show you what that party popper is like, just as a fun little thing here. So I've got this, and it's really hard to get this open, and it's really hard to clear these out, and I don't want to have to deal with this. And so what I can do is send off this party popper, and it acts like a cake bomb in that it removes everything, and then this piñata also shoots out some extra fun prizes for us. And so we get even more things on the board than we otherwise would get. And so it makes hard levels like this so much easier to complete. So this is what I have to share with you today, and I hope that it is helpful to you. And those of you who have been spending money on this game can stop doing that and maybe spend it on other things or donate it if you've got it extra. And I hope that this makes the game more fun for you. If you have found this or any other video that I've done helpful, I would ask you to consider liking and subscribing, because that helps me out. And if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave those, especially if you have ideas for other people, like how to get the same results on a mobile device, because I'm not sure how to do that. I'm the last adult American without a cell phone, so never ever owned one. Don't really plan to in the very near future, not until I leave this house and give up my landline. But I hope that this is helpful, and please, if you have questions, feel free to ask. Don't do anything that's going to upset your system that you have going. And it is tricky, and you might need to experiment a little bit. But once you do figure it out, it's easy and it's so much fun. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day.